Hi, this is Cousin Russ. I thought I would share with you how I handle those shaky leaf hints when the shaky leaf hint is coming from the Ancestry.com Find a Grave Index 1600s to current. So I'm going to walk through that process with you. Um, First of all, before I uh, go into a lot of detail, I have an Evernote sheet that I have on all of the record groups that I work on, and this is a piece of it. And the information is about the collection. The information is from Ancestry, information that the database may contain. There's some notes in here that I keep about what kind of information that I'm going to collect from here. Now, I'm just dealing with the index that's coming from Ancestry. I'm not going to go to the Find a Grave website itself because that has some more work involved. I'm just collecting the data from the index and the shaky leaf hints, and later on then I can go back and go to the Find a Grave website and pick up specific information. The reason is the citing of the sources, because Ancestry, I'm getting it from one place, but if I go to the Find a Grave website, I've got to cite the source of the information, and it may be that if there's a picture on the website, I want to cite the picture differently. So this recording will not handle that. This is just getting from Ancestry, and these are notes that I have about the collection, what information I'm going to pick up in the people workspace, some notes of what things that I've observed, like if I do a web merge in Family Tree Maker, which I will do, I note that the cemetery name is not included. So I will have to deal with that later on. This is my notes on the information I want to enter in the research log. And I also want to come back that there may be some of these hints that I want to come back and actually go to the Find a Grave website. For example, there may be some relationships on the Find a Grave website that I might want to pick up if there's photos like the headstone, or there might be some other information on the website, on the Find a Grave website, that I want to pick up. So I'm going to put these on my to-do list if I find them. Also, I have information on how I handle my citation. This is the source information, and I will actually walk through this here in a few minutes, and the information that I put in the citation text. Now, for this particular collection, there will be no media files, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, let's go to Family Tree Maker, and I'm going to go over there, and there's the plan workspace. So sorry, I opened the wrong screen, but I got to the people workspace, and when I looked at my Ancestry member tree, I noticed that this person had a shaky leaf hint from Find a Grave. I look for the hints from my Ancestry member tree for the record group that I'm working on, and right now I'm working on the Find a Grave Index 1600s to current, and it said that Job Leonard had a hint, and sure enough, there's a shaky leaf hint, and I'm going to click on it, and it's going to take me to the web search workspace, and sure enough, there's a hint for the Find a Grave. I'm going to click on that because I want to see what information may be here. Now, In the lower left-hand corner is the information that I have in my database. It has his name and birth date. There's some relationships at the top of the screen, like who his wife was, who his parents were. I don't know whether that's going to have an impact in here or not. In the lower right-hand corner, though, gives me the information that's going to come in from the website. And the name is added Junior, which I didn't have. I knew it, sort of knew it, but I haven't seen it in any document that he was a junior. But it has the same exact birth date. Death date I didn't know before, but it's adding a death date and where he's buried and his mother and his father. His mother and his father are also up here. Now, this is given his mother's married name. I have his mother's birth surname. So this is my person. So this is a good hint from Ancestry. Now, just to show you, if I click on address, open new window, I'm going to see the same screen. But if I right click on this and open up a new tab, it's going to take me to the Find a Grave website itself. And sure enough, here is the Find a Grave website. Now, I'm not going to do anything on it. I'm just looking. And you see all these relationships that are on this website. I have or may or may not have any of this, but I know I have some of it. But I may want to come back later and visit the website specifically on Find a Grave. Now, there's no headstone picture. I could request it, but that's a topic for another day. I've just shown you this because I will pick up later. I will pick up this memorial number because that'll be important to me in a little bit. So I'm confident that all the information that's on Find a Grave and what I have in my database, I have the right person. I'll just go back to the people workspace and look at the person view just to show you that I don't have much information. And by the way, there's my research log, but I do have some relationships that are showing up in the web search workspace. So I know that I'm going to do this web merge, and I do it because it saves me a lot of time and typos and that kind of good stuff. So I'm going to hit the web merge, and it first of all asks me, this left column is information in my tree, and the right column is information that is being suggested to be brought in. In this case, and I have choices. I'm going to make this one the preferred name because if you look up at the top, his father's got the same name, so it'll help recognizing that it's two different people. The fact that I have a document, although it's a website and it's a stone, that they added Junior, it's a good hint that that is probably correct. Birth date is exactly the same. There's no difference. So I can discard, which is my option here. I can discard it or make it an alternate fact, but I'm going to discard it because it's exactly the same information. The death date is new to me. The burial is new to me. So I click next. Now it's coming down because it's got two more people. It's saying who the parents are. It says Amy Leonard and Amy Worthington. Well, that's the same person. So I'm going to merge what's coming in from the website with what's in my tree. And now I have my choices again. I always get choices. So that's what I have. And I know that's her birth surname. That's her married name. I'm going to make that an alternate name. The birth date is complete in my database, not so much in the website, but I going to keep it as an alternate fact. The difference between the two is that in what's on Find a Grave is not showing where she was born, just the date. In the death, it says the year is 2 years apart. So I'm going to bring that in. I'm going to leave what I have as the preferred, but I will probably have a conflict to have to resolve. The next item is the burial location. In fact, I have the actual cemetery already in to where Amy is buried. So I'm going to make it preferred. Remember I said that the cemetery won't come in. The cemetery name is not being presented. I'm just going to toss that and discard that because I already have the actual cemetery name for her. Next is bringing in the father. I'm going to merge the two again. And I have the same choices. I'm going to make this preferred because I already have him. I already have the father in the database as lieutenant, and I will handle the fact that the website is saying, or the index is saying that it's a lieutenant. I will handle that correctly, and I'll show you how I do that. Again, the birth date is the only thing I have. I'm going to discard what's coming in from Ancestry. Again, I don't have the location of where he was born, where he died. I'm going to bring that in because it's different from what I have in my database and what's already what's coming in. And I also have his exact cemetery, so I can discard this. It's got to be exactly the same, and I have choices whether to discard the duplicate like this up here, or I can add it as an alternative fact. And again, this pull down menu is how I make my choice. And if it's over here, I can make that the choice by clicking in the button to make it preferred. So I'm going to alternate. I want to discard that, and I'm going to click next. So I get to review all of the information that's going to be merged, and now I can do a merge now. And it's being merged, and it says merge complete, close. Now, the next thing I got to do, the very next thing I would do is hit go to sources, because it is now in an Ancestry.com non-template formatted citation. I don't want that. I'm going to make it a template format. But the first thing I want to do when I bring it in is I'm going to copy and paste the notes that's in the web search, and I'll show you where this is. There's the web search website, and that information came from here. So I want to pick up, just put in notes for my source, the information that's in that box, and I just paste it in source notes, citation notes, so that I have the notes where I got the information from. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I've already figured out how to do my citation. And I'm going to put in Find a Grave Memorial for full name and some places to fill in the blank. So I'm going to copy the name, because this is how it was presented to me. I'm going to copy the name, and I'm going to paste it into full name in brackets. And then I'm going to, down here, the lower, it is a big part of the section. It'll tell me his birth year and death year. So I'm going to put in his birth year of 1747, and he died in 1820. Now, the memorial number. The memorial number is that number that I told you that was on the Find a Grave website. And I'm going to copy that. Let me show you where that is. There's the Find a Grave website, and it's down here at the bottom. I'm going to copy that and paste it here. I'm going to get rid of this check mark. I'm going to get rid of this check mark. And I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to put accessed 22 March 2015. This is in the non-template format, so I want to do some editing before I put it into the template format. So I have my citation almost ready to go. I'm ready to go in and put it into the template format. Now, I've already done quite a number of these records, so I don't have to create the template it goes into, but Ancestry.com is the compiler of the information. That's where I got the information from. And there is, it is now in the template format. And I'm almost ready to go do some work with the data, but I want to make sure I get my information correct. Remember, when you do a citation from a website, you just have the URL, and then you paste, you type in access and the date. Now, I just put it here because of a quirk that I've noticed in using the template feature, that I want to be able to copy and paste when I want to put it something visible that I can see, so I don't have to look around for when did I actually do this work. And no check marks. I don't want either one of those checked. And there is the citation. Now I'm ready to start working on this, cleaning up the data. First thing I want to do is pick up that memorial number from Find a Grave. This is from, not from Lieutenant, it was from the son, Junior. So I'm now going to his page. Now, the first thing I want to do when I'm going to his page is I want to put in my clipboard the citation, because I'm going to add a new piece of information. I'm going to add a fact called Find a Grave, and this is the memorial number that I picked up from the website. And I do that because if I need to go back to to search on Find a Grave for this website, I don't have to look around, and this is a far easier way to do a search on Find a Grave if I have a memorial number, and I want to cite that. So I now have a citation for that memorial number. It is hidden, it is private, only I can see that. And I see the two padlocks, so that I've seen this for my information and nobody else. While I'm here, I'm going to make a research log entry. And I'm going to say on the 22nd of March, Find a Grave in the website, and I got it from a hint. So I picked this up from a hint, so I know exactly where I got it from. And now is for my cleanup. The Junior is correct. I want that as preferred, and that's his birth date. Now, the memorial or the burial did not bring in the cemetery. It didn't for his parents either, because they were already in. So I need to change that, because I've already got the cemetery listed. I can just start typing AGA Agawam Center Cemetery. That's the cemetery that I got from Find a Grave. So I just started to type, and it was now presented to me, and I'm making it okay. This is I made a decision. Now, this area of the country until 1778 was Massachusetts Bay Colony. So it's before then, but I made a decision that for cemeteries, the burial fact, I'm going to make it current place names, because that is how Find a Grave gave it to me. And if I want to go, in fact, this whole project is so I can go visit a couple cemeteries. This is one of them. So I can use the map feature within Family Tree Maker to get right to the cemetery and have a list of everybody who is buried in that cemetery. So I have a note in my planned workspace that burial facts will have current place names. And I don't want the age. The age is presented to me in the merge. I'm just going to delete it. So far, that is Junior. Let me go over to the father, and I'm going to do my research log. And while I'm doing research log, I'm going to do the mother as well. So I've taken care of my research log. Now I want to go clean up what other things happened here. Now I've done a couple merges here that I want to clean up, and I did this intentionally because I want to make sure that I'm going to clean up the number of names, but I'm going to put all the citations into one occurrence of that name, and I didn't pick up the right clip, and now I did. And there's the 3. So what I did was I want to get rid of the duplicate names, but that each name is got a citation. And what I need to do is pick up my clipboard for Junior. So I have that citation in my clipboard. And again, there's some duplication here, and I want to get rid of the duplication. So I'm going to put it here and get rid of the duplicate. It may be a disadvantage of doing the web merge. I don't take it that way because I'd rather clean it up at the end. And what I'm doing is getting rid of some duplicates, but to have the common duplicate right here. But remember, I said that the birthdays are wrong or are different, the 2-year difference in the year. And I have a to-do list that I already did a to-do list. I recognized this before. So I have a to-do list that there's a conflict in the birth year. The father, I'm going to clean up the same way. Remember, I said that I already had an entry with the father as lieutenant. Now I've got a number of other documents that make him as a lieutenant. That's not his name. That's the name and a title. I've taken care of the title, and I've taken care of his name. So, and I got all of my research log entry. Now I want to go back and I have another item that I want on the to-do list. Remember on the Find a Grave website that I have some relationships there? Well, I want to remember to go back and pick them up at a later time, because what I will probably do is spend some time with everybody who I have entered into that cemetery and do some more work. So I'm going to create a new task, new to-do list that says Find a Grave has some relationships. I have a task category called Find a Grave, and I just entered it. So in my plan workspace, I will have a whole bunch of Find a Grave things to do. That's the one I just entered. So my to-do list is done. Everything is cited. All my citations are done. I have the access date in my citation. So I have just, I believe, just handled how I handle the Find a Grave, sorry, the Find a Grave hint from Ancestry.com. It has worked for me. For this project, I've done about 65 of these. Very rewarding. This takes a couple of minutes. It, of course, took twice as long because I was explaining it as I went, but it works. It works pretty good, actually. Thank you. If you have any questions, leave a comment on the blog post or in the Cousin Russ community. Thank you. Have a great day.